Welcome back, everybody, to the Loading Up Podcast. I am your host, Producer Jay, along with my cohorts, Brother Tay and Brother Zay. How you guys doing?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás usted? Sorry. What's up, everybody?
Yo,
How you guys been doing?
Been
Pretty
doing good?
pretty good. I've been bleeding a lot lately. But you know, normal
Bleeding?
stuff. Yeah, I've
What?
been fucking up and cutting myself open lately this week.
By accident, I hope.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Those days are done for me. You don't talk about those days.
No. Before we start, we can tell you guys or ask you guys to please like and subscribe.
Who's
On
that? No, I'm
the
telling y'all
YouTube.
niggas to do this shit. No, fuck them.
And follow us and on our socials that you see on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can actually rate us. That would actually help out too to get us more recommended on search engines for podcasts. So
Yeah,
please,
it's free.
if you would. And
Yeah,
it's free.
Free.
It is free.
It's free. It takes like two seconds. Helps everybody else out.
Absolutely. So what you guys been playing?
Go ahead, Tay.
All right, I'm back. I've been playing. I've got some time this last week to get on some games. I got back. I started playing NBA 2K23. I'm not doing 24. At least not until. I really don't want to, because I hate it. It's pretty
I know
much
there was like a whole so with 2K games, literally every year it's basically the same. But for whatever reason, this year has been like shit on so much because it's literally the same thing, like copy and pasted.
Somewhere it's always been the same thing. The only thing that changes, I think I told you this. We talked about this before. The only thing that changes is always the story mode.
Right.
So I don't know. I haven't heard anything about the story mode in 24, and since I didn't really care to buy it. But pretty much this year, like come play with your friends and compete online, you gotta go against these kids who are taking their parents' cards and stuff,
Yeah.
and like just
There was
using...
a Aiden Ross.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was streaming 2K like right before it released, and literally he bought like the whole I guess like battle pass, whatever, and just bought everything that was in it. He bought his way to the end.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
And
very
it's
much
just-
like you have to buy everything to make sure your player is like 95 and 99 or 95, because then you can't really get 99 without like performing well, because the game will just take it away from you whenever
Right.
it feels like. Like if you play a bad game, they'll be like, all right, your rate has been decreased from 99 to 98 because you had a bad game. But
It's so dumb, and it's so like shitty that because it isn't like if you were to buy everything, it's like $1,000 or something like that, right? Something crazy.
yeah,
That's wild.
because not only do you have to use money to buy like points so you can make your player the best player can be, but then you also have to use the same money you use to buy like your abilities and points and stuff. You have to use it to go buy like clothes so you can make yourself look the way you want to look, or
Right.
any sort of scooters or anything like that, or any animations that you want. It's like if you're like, you know how like they do like the secret handshakes like real players do.
Yeah.
Like you have to use that you have to buy money to buy the animations to do with your own teammates.
That's so horrible.
That's so scummy.
Yeah, so everything
You want to do anything in a game? Pay up.
Yeah, you got to use VC or virtual currency, is what it's
Yeah.
called there. Everything costs virtual currency. You want a good dunk package? Virtual currency. You want to shoot like LeBron James? We need that virtual currency. And also,
wasn't it that they literally, it's just the same stuff from like all the animations. It's nothing new. It's literally just the same from the previous year, right?
it probably is nothing new. I don't know. I'm not playing 24, like I said at the moment.
I just know that there
I'm
was
only-
like
I'm playing 23 for myself because I enjoy playing the game by myself.
Yeah.
It's like
this
it's a good stress
goes
relief.
more for like not just like 2K, like for Madden, FIFA. Well, it's not FIFA no more, but
I
all
have not.
the yearly sports games.
I haven't
do
heard
this.
anything this year about Madden. If anything, Madden's not as egregious as 2K
Yeah,
when it
you're
comes
right.
to that. like you can like get stuff from just playing stuff, but like I don't ever hear anything that much about Madden. That people they do just complain about how the game kind of just breaks sometimes.
Yeah.
They do like the most unrealistic things. That's what I'll get. Like if you ever watch American football, like the player will drop the ball, aka a fumble. If you don't watch it, they just lose the ball carrying it. The game will glitch out, so people keep reaching for the ball and no one will be able to pick it up.
Y'all will be so mad if I can't pick up a fumbled ball.
Or like if you hit a player, they'll just get lost like 15 feet in the air from random reason. I don't know. That's the only thing I've ever seen about Madden. Just things just breaking randomly, and it's really funny. It's like a GTA game sometimes.
Yeah.
And then for the streams, we started The Devil and Me, which honestly, pretty much the first start of it, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So
It
far.
also, yeah, so far. It's a lot of references to some horror movies. Like the start,
Really?
the start is based on the game start is based on the first American serial killer, H.H. Holmes.
Oh, so
But-
it's like kind of like based on a true story type thing.
Well, the killer, they show like a killing that supposedly that happened with H.H. Holmes, but the killer or whatever's going on is inspired by H.H. Holmes. But then there's like little movie references in there that I noticed, and I'm just like, okay, this is actually cool. Like they had like little things that show that he has anti-personality disorder, like Michael Myers in the remake of Halloween. When he was, like the little kid was killing pets and stuff. So they sprinkled in little details like that. So it's like sometimes like little animations and little reminders of the horror. And I'm like, this is pretty good. Had like 2 good jump scares in it that got me. And I was pissed.
I know.
And then
That's
back on
one thing,
Kingdom
because
Hearts.
I feel like it's hard to master like the jump scare in terms of like, what is it? Is it just startling you, or is it actually like scaring you into like not wanting to like go where you were going or whatever?
They're like this one was like little startles that you're like, oh, okay, it got me. It was
Yeah.
one that was a really good startle, and then one that you couldn't see but you just heard it, so you're just like, do we have to go in that room?
Right.
Like you hear it happen, and then when you come out, it's like the first 5 minutes, so you're hiding, and then you come out, you just see just wreckage, and you just hear snarling and growling, and you're just like, do we have to continue going in this path? Like there's clearly something was in here that did not want to be seen.
Right.
That bitch broke a hole through the house. That's not something a raccoon does. I seen raccoons. They don't do this.
Brother Zay, what you been playing?
Oh man, FOMO's got me because I brought Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Why you did that?
It's not even fair though, because I just got paid, so I was like, oh, I got a little extra, and then CD Keys had it on sale, so I got on CD Keys.
You're worse than just like me.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get in and play, and it's pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it. It's a flashback to the old Assassin's Creeds because it's not like open world action RPG like the new ones are.
Okay.
So far so good. I haven't really experienced any major bugs or anything.
No more ship?
No, this one it's in Baghdad and like in ancient times.
Like back in the Middle East.
Yeah, in the Middle East. So it's
not the same.
They do have
the
water,
ship.
but it's not like. And so far, at least, there's no like ship battles. It's not like Black Flag or Odyssey.
But Black Flag was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so far so good. I've been playing that, as well as just all the sorts of random games from Game Pass that drop, because Game Pass is literally just dropping everything. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, they freaking shadow dropped Warhammer
yes,
Darktide.
Warhammer Darktide. They had dropped, although I did beat this already, Gotham Knights.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, they dropped Cocoon on there. They dropped a bunch of stuff. Absolutely insane the amount of content that Xbox players has right now. It's insane.
Too much.
So
I'm still trying to go through Starfield.
I know.
And
It's
this week was
ridiculous.
especially bad because I just felt like I didn't have any time. And
Producer
I
Jay,
was always tired and yeah.
Producer Jay, you're not trying to go through Starfield. You're trying to go through every game we have.
I'm
Don't
trying
lie.
to yes, I'm trying. Keyword is try.
Yeah. So you haven't played much because of life.
Real life is that's what I've been playing, or it's been playing me, I should
Real
say.
life
wow.
kicking
That's
my
crazy.
ass.
I just haven't had time, but
This shit is not
hopefully
fair.
hopefully this weekend I have a little bit more time to myself.
Yeah. That's what we could hope for. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll just jump right into some news because we got a little bit to talk about. We've last week we talked about how Sony was breached, and they hacked them. We don't know exactly what was taken. We still don't know the full scope of the details because they're still doing an investigation. But Sony confirmed that they were breached not once but twice this year. Twice this year. Once earlier in May, and then in May, that's where the 6,000 people's of former and current employees' datas were breached.
Well, nice.
And
Wow.
and then the more recent one was where it's the second data breach that resulted in a theft of 3.14 gigabytes of data, which it don't seem like a lot, but it can be a lot if we're just talking paperwork.
Right.
Because that's very small. So it can be a lot of stuff. So they came out and confirmed that the 3 gigabytes of data was stolen, and the over 6,000 personal information and work information for 6,000 former and current employees of theirs was released to the hackers.
Yeah, we were robbed, homie. I ain't gonna lie to you. We were robbed.
yeah, definitely big time. It's crazy, and I mean it's even more crazy that they came out and just said it. Yeah, this is what's going on. So they're cooperating with authorities to try and figure out exactly who was responsible and to see if they can bring back some of that data from the hackers. I don't know to what extent that means. I don't know if they're gonna pay the hackers, because we have still gotten word from the hackers if they released it. Who knows what they did?
They probably sold it on the dark web. Honestly,
Probably.
if it's personal information, then yeah, that shit's already out.
Yeah,
They didn't get paid.
yeah, it's absolutely
Golly.
insane.
Y'all ain't never gonna see this shit again. We gotta.
I would absolutely, again, please listen to me. Put 2-factor authentication on your account just in case.
Yeah, they're actually sending out letters to everybody who's been affected, and they're giving people they're offering them credit monitoring and identification restoration services through Equifax from now until
Wait.
February.
Didn't Equifax get breached a few years ago too?
They did.
So they gave here we have this
It's a
unreliable service to protect you from our unreliable service.
yeah. It's
Look,
it's
man,
a
what do you want from us? We're trying our best.
yeah.
It's just, I
It's
want
it's
this
a
shit to
show.
work. Yeah, it's like, what is this?
It's definitely a shit show. So when people who did
Gross.
get and or will receive the letters can use Equifax to monitor the credit and identity restoration services for free until February of next year.
Can you imagine if you had your whole identity stolen and compromised over a freaking PlayStation?
Can I imagine?
Let me just tell you this: if this was Xbox in its place instead of PlayStation,
Oh, it'd have been over. It would have been over.
the media would have had a frenzy. It would have.
I mean,
they would have called out.
That's only because of Bill Gates.
Yes, people still believe they have such a hate boner for Microsoft ever since Bill Gates and all this. They believe that he freaking he's the one who contaminated the vaccine and put the nano chips in it and all that shit.
No,
Yeah, they believe it. That's all
not-
Bill Gates.
I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms.
get into that because that is insane. Oh no.
But
Yeah.
no, there is definitely a bias towards Microsoft and anything related to Microsoft. So If this had happened to them, you best believe everybody and their freaking mother will be on it and talking about how Microsoft is the worst company.
It will be trending on Twitter, and every major normie news site will be on it. It will be all over the place.
You just called the news normies?
Yes.
Yeah, the news is normies. No, there's a lot of like bottom feeder type shit on the news.
No. That's why I asked. I was like, "Do you mean regular news or bullshit?" That's why I asked.
Yeah, not the. Well, I mean, it's really hard.
It's hard to distinguish.
To find reputable like sources these days.
Just stay off. Look, just stay off.
It's not even just fake news, but it's just like biased news, if anything.
Yeah. Somebody has an agenda there for sure. Either way,
it's me.
We digress. We digress.
Yes.
I don't. I am the one. I'm the one with the agenda. It's always been me. It always will be.
Oh man. So we'll get into a little more PlayStation news. We have a lot of things related around PlayStation, and not necessarily good. That will be up to the viewers to decide.
Right.
So as we know, Sony brought Bungie, to help them with their live service venture, because Sony is going full speed ahead with live service games, but their acquisition for Bungie was supposed to help them with that, especially with their expertise of building Destiny 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So they came in there and they went to Sony and they started wreaking havoc, telling everybody what live service games are gonna happen. What can potentially make it?
Allegedly.
Yeah, of course, this is all allegedly. But either way, developers have come out and said that they're struggling with the live service part of their new outlook on their games, because a lot of the developers for Sony have always dealt with exclusively single player, over the shoulder action,
story-based narratives.
So it's like they're now struggling with trying to transition to the live service side of gaming. It is not easy, and it can bring up a lot of failures. And we know Sony doesn't like failures when it comes to their products. So I think that's one of the main reasons why they brought Bungie to come in to try and make sure they're trying to succeed as much as possible. But even then, when you have these developers that are so focused on doing these single player driven narrative games, switching to live service, we saw how bad that ended up with Redfall and the people at Arcane, where they are single player narrative driven games builders, and they went and built Redfall as a live service game, and it was total garbage.
Yeah, it also happened with Anthem.
Garbage.
Yes, Anthem as well. So
Anthem, and that's the thing, that game was actually fun to play, but it just
it lacked
gameplay,
content.
Yeah, it lacked content. That's the main issue with live service. Honestly, I can't tell you a single live service game that started out great, because literally every single one was so terrible at launch. There's not a single, even Fortnite.
Yeah,
PUBG,
even Fortnite.
The early ones. PUBG, even Destiny struggled at first.
Oh, big struggle. Yeah.
Yeah, Warzone, all these live service games. Halo, Infinite started off really bad.
Yeah.
CFD started off pretty bad. It's nonstop. Every single live service game that is eventually got success always started out bad. So the fact that Sony is trying to do this, and they're trying to make sure that it launches straight, from the get-go, it's gonna be okay, that's hard.
Really
incredibly hard.
Yeah.
And like you said, especially games that, or developers that haven't made live service games, automatically transitioning into a live service game from single player. It's not like you can just put anybody in there, and it's gonna be hard. So
Yeah.
I don't know. And granted, they have their plan was, I don't know if it's still the plan with Jim Ryan leaving, but they had 10 to 12 live service games
Yeah, it's
planned.
over them. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, I don't know if they said this or maybe it was like a leak or whatever, that Sony expects a lot of these to fail. Like they do not expect them to be successful they just need one
They just
to be
need
successful.
one to be successful. Exactly.
So they're essentially throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, and sacrificing the goodwill of the developers and the fans
and the fans, and the gamers
in the process, just so they can make a quick buck and make Fortnite money. Even though freaking apparently Fortnite money is not enough because they were laying off people last week that we talked about.
Their billions is not enough.
Yeah, so like you really want to chase that? You see that it's not working for them. Why would you want that for yourself?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Always
they jumping late into the live service games. Microsoft started years ago, and it's now starting to pay off with like Fallout and CFD.
Fallout, that was another one. Fallout 76.
Fallout
That didn't start out well.
Oh, terrible.
Same thing with ESO. Like, it's never a good start for live service. Like, you have to be like picture perfect, and it's
even if you have a really good single player side of the game, like ESO, because I had a great single player side of the game. Their live service didn't start getting great until a year or two later.
Right.
You know, and it's insane the amount of time, the amount of work that goes into a live service game. You can't expect these developers who don't really do live service games to get it right away. And if you have 12 live service games coming out and all 12 of them fail, Sony can't fail as often as Microsoft can fail because they don't have the money to recuperate that much. You know, they just don't have it.
Yeah.
You know, so they have to be very careful. You know, the first one that's coming out, right? I think it's Foam Stars.
Oh, but that's a Square Enix thing. That's another another example. Final Fantasy 14.
Yes,
launched terribly.
Yeah,
like, but yeah, no, I don't. I honestly, I just feel bad for the devs because they're the ones who are suffering. They're struggling, and they're trying to make ends meet with a system that they're not used to. And I hope, and granted, what was his name? Herman Hulst. I think he's like the head of PlayStation Studios or something like that.
Okay.
He said that they're still gonna make single player games, like those aren't going away, but honestly, I have a hard time believing that they'll be as frequent now. Like, we'll probably see them maybe like once a year, maybe, and then the rest.
That's what it seems like, because all this year, I think, when it comes to, they have what, Final Fantasy 16 and Spider-Man 2. That's it.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2, and then next year we don't even know.
We have no idea. All we know is Wolverine is eventually coming out, but we have no idea when that's coming out.
Yeah, we have no idea what Sony Santa Monica is working on. We have no idea what Sucker Punch is working on. We have no idea what the Days Gone developers are working on. I know it's not Days Gone 2, but because that got canned. But yeah, so it's just a lot that's up in the air, and it's like we've been wondering like what is PlayStation's plan going forward, and that seems to be just live service. Like, that's what they're focused on right now. Yeah. But like I said before, like I don't know if that stays the plan with Jim Ryan leaving. It might just because they sunk so much money into it already. So I don't know.
Who knows?
Time will tell.
Yeah, and it gets even worse for more developers. So like Naughty Dog developers, they're now cutting dozens of jobs, a lot of Q&A jobs, but also some management jobs they're cutting, and even lead designer, like the principal designer for The Last of Us, is leaving. So there's a lot of stuff going on, in particular with Naughty Dog, because as we know, The Last of Us, Bungie came in and said The Last of Us is on ice. Those are their words. Last of Us Factions, yes, Factions 2 is on ice. Not delayed and not canceled, but just on ice. That's what they called it.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, that's crazy. You know, that's one of the other live service games that Bungie came in and just straight up said, it's not good enough yet. We're going to put this on ice. and now we have
Did
people
you play
leaving.
the first factions?
Cool.
Yes, I played the first factions.
Either of you? Like,
Yeah, no, I played it. I did not.
yeah. No, I played a little bit of it because I told you I didn't have a PS2 or a PS3 at the time when it came out. Because I think it's not on the PS4 version, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, that's where I played it on the PS4.
It was? Then maybe I just didn't even pay attention to
I
it.
don't think it wasn't really that much of the seller thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so like it was interesting. I thought the concept was pretty cool. Like basically like it's basically like the shootout part of Last of Us but in multiplayer.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect and I feel like it could work, but the whole issue was, at least from when I was like reading up on it, that they needed to be like heavily monetizable. So like that's why Bungie stopped it, because they felt like it wasn't as monetizable.
Yeah.
Which means like they probably wanted to add a battle pass to it.
I
So that way
can't
they
get
can
more
unlock-
money off of this, therefore it's not worth my time.
Exactly. That's exactly what they said, which is sad. And
Nah,
it's funny, it's ironic too, because Bungie has come under fire specifically for their monetization strategy in Destiny. Like there's a lot of stuff in Destiny that is ridiculously priced, and a lot of people are just like, yo, is this not even worth it? Like what are you doing? And it's like, I get that they're trying to get money, that's the whole goal, but
Always the goal.
at some point you got to be like, okay, are people really gonna buy this? Like, think of the setting for Last of Us and what that could bring. Like, you can't put freaking dance emotes in the Last of Us factions.
Not with
Like,
that attitude.
Yeah, Ellie
How would
dancing.
you gonna do the flaws?
Yeah. Do the
Is
flaws
there-
after
is
she
there-
just pops up
Is
the
there a
head
problem
off.
here? I'm gonna put it in there.
Right?
I'm gonna put it in there, man. They're gonna buy it regardless.
Yeah, that'd be
Somebody
crazy.
will.
Someone will.
Someone will, but that again, like, you're gonna put like rainbow colored guns. Like, that was one thing that a lot of people criticize Call of Duty for in the beginning, because
Don't test
before-
me.
Call of Duty used to be just like, it was like grounded in reality, and they try to be more realistic and stuff. But I think it was, I can't even think of it now. Maybe it was probably like Black Ops 4 or something like that, where they started adding like the really crazy guns and like the tags that you could put on it, and or I don't know. It was probably earlier, but
No,
People
that sounds
just
like,
like, yo,
right. It
what-
was Black Ops 4, I believe.
was it Black Ops 4?
I believe so.
Or maybe it was Black Ops 3. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
gonna lie to you.
It
That
was-
sounds like a Black Ops 4 type of thing.
Yeah, like I it was one of them that they just added like ridiculous skins for the guns, and then ridiculous clothing items and all this and that, and it just got really crazy with it. And it's just like, yo, this is supposed to be like a war game. Like, why am I running around with a freaking unicorn tag on my gun? Like, this is, I don't know. But that's the thing though. Would they do that to Last of Us? Because I feel like that would not be a good move.
That's part of why it's now on ice.
Exactly. They just couldn't figure out a way to make it work.
You asked it's possible. Is it a possibility? Yes. Don't put anything past people when it comes to these things anymore.
You're right. I should, yeah. I my better judgment should be like, yeah, they would absolutely do that.
Absolutely.
I mean,
No,
I
they
think
do it. They would listen to this, and be like, yo, that's a good idea.
I think honestly what should happen with Factions 2 is that they should just release it as The Last of Us multiplayer 2. You know, they should release it as that and just stop trying to monetize it. Because PlayStation fans need something to play. You know, they're waiting for
problem-
Spider-Man 2. They
are
need,
gonna,
they need
they're
a
gonna
good
continue,
multiplayer.
They're going to
game
continue to
play.
wait for Spider-Man 2. It doesn't
Yeah, I
matter
know.
what you say.
I'm just saying they need a game to play, and Factions, the first Factions was actually really, really cool. I liked it a lot. I played it a lot, and I just wish that Factions 2 had came out as just a multiplayer game, not some sort of live service issue. You know, I just wish that it would have came out. You know, it would have been rivaling games now. Like
I don't see you say that, but I don't think so, because PlayStation, at least when it comes to their exclusives, the people who play those games don't play online multiplayer games. Like that.
Well-
That's like, it's like a thing where a lot of the people that play like online games on PS5, they play the third party. They play Call of Duty. They play 2K, Madden, like all these other games, Fortnite. They play all the other ones for online. But when it comes to exclusives, they don't really like touch if there's an online component, they don't really do it. Because that's not their thing.
That's not what they were looking for, and they're probably not going to ever look for that type of thing.
Exactly. So they don't.
Like it's a cool thing to have, but in their mind they're like, "Oh, I can't for this one thing," and it's mostly online stuff.
Yeah, because that's even back at like in the 360 era, like that was what Xbox was known for. It was known for online because it had Xbox Live and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where people went. But then once PlayStation 4 became popular, those people migrated over from the Xbox to play those same games just on PS4. But that doesn't mean that they're going to play the PlayStation games that are online. Because honestly, like literally within the past 10 years, can you name me at least like 3 online games that were popular on PlayStation, just on PlayStation?
Does Uncharted count?
The Uncharted multiplayer.
Uncharted
was
multiplayer,
awesome.
okay. That's one.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Exactly.
Come on, Brother Tay. Come on, Brother Tay. I need you here.
I'm doing my best,
Exactly.
bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to think of PlayStation exclusives that were like
Yeah.
They
like,
don't
like
have
Guns-
them.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima's multiplayer dropped.
That,
one?
It's
That
a number
wasn't-
2. It's a number 2. All right,
that
you're
was
giving me
not
that one.
popular. That
Which-
came and went like a fart in the wind.
Which one?
Ghost of Tsushima. the
Exactly. You
multiplayer.
didn't even hear about it, Brother Zay. It's like, that had multiplayer?
I didn't even know who it was.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
That's the
trying-
point.
You guys, I'm trying to think of like games. I guess that PlayStation Battle Royale technically was a popular multiplayer.
Oh, wait.
Where it had like the PlayStation
fake,
characters.
I call it the fake Smash Brothers.
The fake
I'm always
Smash
gonna
Brothers.
call
No,
it
it's
the fake
Smash,
Smash Brothers.
Brothers at home.
It's PlayStation
no,
Smash
not
Brothers.
Smash Brothers at home.
That's what that was. That was fake. That was a PlayStation Smash Brothers game,
Yeah.
and it just happened to be online.
When
that
did
was
that come out?
popular.
When
that
did
was
that come
popular
out?
though.
I said 10 years.
Wow.
That was
I don't know.
2013.
Yeah. No, was it? I don't think so.
I ain't looking that shit up. Hope you do it.
Nah, that was on PS3. That didn't come on PS4. Anyway, point is, you're
Was
hard.
Uncharted-
You'd be hard pressed to find
Was
other
Assassin's
than
Creed-
Uncharted 4 multiplayer.
Was
To find
Assassin's
a
Creed?
multiplayer game that was no exclusive. I said.
I was gonna ask is it
Meanwhile-
exclusive.
Meanwhile, Xbox has Halo. You already know.
Alright,
Gears
that was
of
the first
War.
one I thought of. Yes.
Exactly. Gears of War, Forza,
What?
and they also had
The Horizon series.
What?
Yeah, anyway.
Oh, the Horizon, yeah. I mean, it was
Yeah.
online. And I guess to a lesser extent, although you could argue that maybe it was more popular, Killer Instinct.
I forgot
Killer
Killer
Instinct.
Instinct. I guess
Yeah.
you would definitely have to say Killzone
Fighting
then
game,
at
online.
that point.
Oh yeah. I mean, Xbox had a lot more than that, but
They had a
If
lot
it-
more than that, but just off the top of my head, I can also
Okay.
put, Sea of Thieves, obviously. Yeah, there's just a lot more examples of popular online games on Xbox compared to PlayStation. So PlayStation, like starting now, I mean, they tried before, it's just never worked. Remember MAG?
no,
Yeah, exactly. That
that's crazy.
that was like the first game
Does
that
Last of Us count?
well, the first factions, yeah, I guess.
thought it was
MAG,
just thinking of
they
games.
tried to what was it? I think it was like 128 people in one map, or maybe it was higher. I don't know, but that was the first time and then they had like Killzone that they tried multiplayer with that. It's never really worked out for PlayStation. So it's like I want to wish that it's gonna work out, but I can't say it based off of their track history or track
Yeah.
record.
I mean, I tried PlayStation. I really did. I tried
No,
to
you
be
saw-
here for you.
You
Look, I
tried.
did my best. I was pulling shit out my ass.
Assassin's Creed. Just like that.
I was like, I'm literally trying to think of games that you play online on PlayStation because look, it really is like Honestly, I feel like if you buy a PlayStation, your plan is not to play online. Your plan is just to play the game by yourself. And
Exactly. I mean, you can play games online, like that's there for you. Like I said, for Call of Duty or like all those other games,
And we're talking exclusives here.
just exclusives.
Okay, because third parties, third party,
No, yeah,
is
third
king
party.
over there. You know,
That's
have Call of
why they were
Duty,
freaking
Fortnite,
fighting
yeah.
over Call of Duty so hard, because they were just like, "Yo, this is where our player base is."
yeah, because it's a third party. All their games are third parties, pretty much.
Yeah, all the multiplayer. Yeah, but anyway,
Gears of War became.
Yeah.
If Gears of War wasn't exclusive, that shit would sold crazily more. It sold more crazy than it already did. That game is popular as hell. All right, continue.
it could have been. There was a point in time where it could have been, because Microsoft
what do you
didn't
mean
own
could've
it. They Epic owned it.
Oh, I thought you meant. It could have been like it's not selling. I was like, that shit was
Oh no,
sell.
no, I meant like it could have released on like PlayStation. I remember reading about it. Like it was very close.
It was an Epic game because that's where Fall Guys came from.
Oh yeah, Fall Guys is Epic. Forget.
Yeah,
Fall Guys. That whole team is gone, but it's still.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they did. They cut the people from Fall Guys.
damn, you didn't have to say it like that.
Look, they're gone, but like that game still sold though. That game was still good though.
It's still making money. That's the crazy part.
I still play it
in spite of itself.
Wow. Well, all right. We're gonna put the nail in the coffin on PlayStation's multiplayer then, and we'll keep moving on because I mean I guess because this could be a multiplayer game. I'm not even sure if it is. We're talking about Knights of the Old Republic. Now, this may be dead in the water. So they announced, what was it, last year, that they were going to remake Knights of the Old Republic.
Was it last year?
Oh no, I think it was 2021.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah, so 2021 they announced that it was going to come back. They're going to do a full remake, and everybody's super excited because Knights of the Old Republic was a great game back on, was a 360, right? 360 era.
No, it was on the original Xbox.
Yeah, an original. Okay, the original part 1 was original Xbox. Part 2 was the 360.
Made by BioWare. OG BioWare.
Mm-hmm. And now it seems like because the video for its release was delisted offline, taken completely off, and people were wondering, hey, what's going on with this remake? And nobody said anything. Sony did come out to say, oh, it was just a licensing for the music, but they didn't renew the license for the music, and they didn't put back up the video. So it still remains to be seen what's going to happen with this remake. And it's like, it's still not boding well for PlayStation. And it's because this is a game that a lot of people wanted, were very upset that it was going to be exclusive to PlayStation. And now it's on ice apparently too. Like it's like they're putting everything on ice over there.
Yeah, I never understood, because I remember when this was first leaked. Now, granted, I never played the original, but when it first came out that this was getting remade, they were making, I guess, not making a big deal, but they were kind of like talking about like, oh, you're not gonna believe who's making this one, and people were like speculating like, oh, who could it be? Who could be remaking this game? And it turned out to be a studio that nobody's ever heard of. Was it like Aspire?
Yeah, Aspire or something like that.
Yeah. So
what a
like,
name.
I think they only had like one game.
What a name.
Yeah, they only had like one game under their belt, and they were gonna do the remake, and that's crazy, right? Like,
but they pulled it though. Aspire was pulled from the project. And it was moved over to Saber Interactive in August of last year.
So actually, I was just looking up like information, and apparently it's still like, if you go on Aspire's website, they still list it as them working on it. So I don't think they were pulled. I think they just added Saber Interactive to like remix to try and help out. But even then, like that's not because I think what initially came out about why it was being delayed was that maybe it was PlayStation who said it, or I don't know, that
damn PlayStation.
The gameplay wasn't like where they wanted it to be, essentially. I don't know what that means, but That's pretty much what the gist of it was. That they probably were looking to make it more of like an action RPG instead of a turn-based like the original.
Yeah.
And it probably just didn't work out because this freaking developer only has one game before they made this. So it's like,
Well, Aspire, they worked on the iOS ports for KOTOR 1 and 2. And apparently this could be traced back to Embracer. Because,
Really?
Yes. It says, extremely troubled conglomerate Embracer owns
Embrace
both
these
Saber
nuts?
Interactive and Aspire. Which,
Also, it's like a cooperation type thing.
yes.
Okay.
So now, I guess, now everything's been in disarray since, they lost that $2 billion deal with the Saudis.
Yeah.
So now nobody knows what's happening with any of their games, apparently, for Embracer. Because it can be traced back to them, which is crazy.
Damn.
They need to just give it up. Say, we're not doing it. Give it to a developer who's actually
Honestly,
going to
I'm
work
starting
on
to think,
it.
based on what Embracer had done, like with buying all these IPs and studios, like
Yeah.
left and right over the years, like it was probably like a freaking money laundering scheme.
Oh, man.
I mean, I hate to be conspiracy theorist, but like, why
Let's get-
else?
Let's
Why
get
else?
that tinfoil hat ready, baby.
Right?
What
Like,
a
but why
turd.
would you buy all these studios if you weren't gonna like make good on like doing anything with them? Like, really? Like, how many of these studios and games and have they
why
done anything?
would
with?
you? Why would you ever?
Like, maybe they were just
Open your
biding their
third eye,
time.
my brothers. Where's Brother Jay when you need him?
Right? You would have been
one on
perfect.
Wow.
This man, he loves conspiracy theories for no reason other than just to do them.
Well, all right. So we'll do one bit of last bit of PlayStation news because actually, brother Matt just sent this to me over Twitter. So Sony is gonna be doing a movie pass. And
Oh,
going
just
live
come on
today.
He can just come on the podcast and say it.
Yeah, he
Right?
might as well, right? Yeah. So Sony Pictures Core is Sony's app for their movies and anime and all that. So that's going live today on PS5 and PS4, and PlayStation Plus premium subscribers can access hundreds of movies from the Sony lineup, and it just reminds me of what Xbox was doing back in 2013 with their TV and movies that
Yeah.
nobody wanted.
It's
And now Sony's putting this as part of their premium package. It's like, is this why they're raising the prices for movies?
no, it's so weird. Like, if you look back at like everything that like Xbox has tried to do, even just like with the Xbox One launch, like what they were trying to do with the TV and the family share plan or whatever, like everything that they said has come into fruition. It just, they were too early to the party. Like, that's literally what it is. Like, like the whole TV aspect and movies, like literally one of the like top or I guess most talked about shows last year was or was it earlier this year? I can't even remember. The Last of Us.
Yeah,
It's a TV show, and now they're talking about making a God of War TV show, and now they're talking about making a Horizon movie, or it's just so much has changed since back then about the focus on like what they should do in terms of like movies and TV shows and stuff like that. And Microsoft was all in on it. They saw the writing on the wall. Then people shot on it. They was just like, no, we want games. We don't want movies and TV shows. And now here we are 10 years later, and that people, I want TV shows and movies. So, it's just, I mean, this is, if there was any good PlayStation news this week on this show, like this was probably the best one.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. They're adding it to PlayStation Plus. So, but like you said, that could be why they're increasing the price. But
Yeah.
It's
But,
not bad.
so
it's also
it's
not
not-
good.
Yeah, exactly. It's not bad. It's not good.
it just is.
It just
It is. It is.
My
what
thing
it
is, as a gamer, if I canceled my PlayStation premium, subscription because they weren't just they were not putting anything worthwhile on there. Then they raised the prices up. Now they're just adding movies. Like, I already have Max, I already have Netflix and Disney Plus. I don't need your movies on another subscription service. We needed more games, and they didn't add more games, so I canceled it. So it's like it just wasn't worth it. I don't think it's worth it now, even with the hundreds of movies they're adding. You know, people have their subscription service. They're not gonna turn on their PlayStation and go to PlayStation Core and watch, you know, a bunch of movies like they think they're gonna do. I just don't see it happening.
I feel like this was kind of like a last-ditch effort to kind of add value to, like, what they should have done is announce this first and then do the price hike and be like, okay, that's probably why they did it. But then they just raised the price, right? And now they're adding this and be like, oh, but look, you get the movies. Like, but yeah, but you already raised the price. So it's like, I don't really care now.
I don't want the stupid thing.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. They're going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah. Well, it's the idea that, like, look, we did it so you can have this now. And everyone's going to look at it like, all right, and
we didn't ask for this. Like, thank you, but no thank you.
It's pretty much the same shit how people are reacting when they're like, aliens exist. And they're like, okay.
Right. Pretty much.
And, like, what do you want?
Do I still have to go to work tomorrow?
Right.
Yeah. All right, cool.
If the answer is yes, then I don't care.
I don't care.
That was my response too when it came out. They're like, aliens existed. I was like, I have bills to pay.
Like, all right. I already knew this, but okay.
Yeah. Like, I didn't care. I didn't care when it was set there. I don't care now that you probably confirmed it. I don't care. Unless you're paying my bills, I don't care.
So the other day, AMD released for the PC the FSR3, which is, you know, just technology-based software that's coming out to PC. But they also talked about how it's going to be able to be used on the Xbox and the PS5 consoles as well. So beef up the frames per second, so it will use the technology already in our systems to make games that are 30 to 60 jump up to 120 frames per second easily. So that was really shocking to come to consoles, because PC is always getting all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And when they said it's coming to consoles, they said it's coming to Xbox and Series S, Xbox Series X and S, but it will look like it's gonna have trouble on the PlayStation 5. Because the PlayStation 5 doesn't have as many cores to work with to sort of beef up those frames per second on the games. So they're going to have to do some workarounds for that. Which is, I feel like me and Brother Matt been talking, you know, on the side about how he has this theory that the PlayStation 5 is not as powerful as the Series S. And Sony just pays developers and all the people to make their games and proprietary for their console, and make it seem like Series S is the one that's not as powerful. But he believes that the PS5 is not as powerful as it seems, and it needs more work, which is why they're coming out with a Pro model. And this FSR3 kind of sort of like makes that sort of semi-true.
I was gonna say, like, he's kind of not wrong, because in the sense that developers, I mean, this has been a thing since forever. Developers will choose whichever a console or platform has the most value to, like, the player base to revenue stream, I guess. So like, because it's PlayStation, they're going to choose to make sure that the PlayStation version works, and then they'll port it to wherever. Like, that's usually, the PlayStation is the lead platform because there's more players there. That was the case for the 360 in that era. 360 was the lead platform, and they ported it to PS3. That's what caused a lot of the issues and why a lot of games underperformed on PlayStation, because it was... What?
Quotation marks, more players.
Well, yeah, quotation marks.
Because they couldn't work a deal out with Nintendo.
Well, yeah. Well, once the Switch 2 comes out, then it's over. But
may you all rest in peace.
But yeah, so that developers choose the lead platforms for their games, and that's where they focus on more. So because of that, that's why PlayStation always gets the technically. I mean, even then, it's not even the better version, but like when it comes to comparisons,
it's a cleaner version.
Yeah, it's like
it just functioned a little more better.
It's the
Because
priority.
that's the one it was designed for.
Yeah, it gets the priority, and then the Xbox, it can either perform as good or slightly worse or maybe slightly better, but it's always like on the same level. So like he's not wrong in that like the Series X, if like a game developer decided to make the Xbox the lead platform, it could potentially mean that the Series S outperforms, because there's games that run 120 frames per second on the Series S that can't do it on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's like over 100, or maybe it's a little bit less, but there's a lot of games that are able to run at 100 frames per second, 120 frames per second, and there's only like maybe like 15.
A handful.
Yeah, like a handful on PlayStation 5. Comparison. Yeah. Now, granted, that's just for like 120 frames per second, but the fact that it has enough horsepower to be able to pull that off in more games than PlayStation 5, that means if the developer wanted to, they probably could make it perform better in general if that was the lead platform, but obviously it's not. So that's why developers run into a lot of issues.
Exactly. But now imagine with the AMD FSR3 coming to consoles, it will blow the PlayStation right out the water, because they won't even be able to fully use it on the PlayStation 5.
Right.
You know?
Well, we'll have to see how that works out, because
because this is still new, of course.
Yeah. And we have to, I don't know, because do you know if it's like retroactive? Like, can it be applied to previous games, or is it like something that has to be worked on as the game is?
I think it has to be worked on. I mean, I'm sure they can go in there and use it to beef up previous games and update it, of course.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
There's always that ability. You have the ability to do that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they could do that. That I don't see that as an issue.
All right, I don't see it as an issue at all.
We'll see how this works out. I mean, I'm always up for better performance. I'm literally like, that's for me, like, performance takes priority. I don't care about the glitz
4K and ray tracing,
HDR, like HDR, ray tracing. I don't care about all that shit. I want 60 frames per second standard.
Yeah, for sure. Let's hope that with the AMD FSR3 coming, we can see more of that. I mean, even better than 60 frames. So we'll see.
Right.
So what we got time for? Because we're gonna talk about the review bombing.
Yeah, we could talk about that.
Okay. So, the Xbox Game Pass just released recently Cocoon, which is an indie game that they released on Game Pass day one, and it actually got really good reviews everywhere except for on Xbox. Seems to be this growing trend to review bomb games on the Xbox, and not just Xbox, the console itself, but also PC Game Pass, where anybody can just go in and write a review or just review about games. And they were talking specifically about Cocoon because it was the newest one, and they're saying, it's just more indie games, not enough AAA games, and they're review bombing Cocoon and saying that this is just another crappy indie game without actually playing it. Which turns out to be a really good indie game. Everybody likes it, but they're just review bombing it because it's an indie game and not a triple AAA, action adventure game.
I don't want to work. I don't want to do the review. Shit's an indie game.
Yeah. So I mean, it really sucks because the game is actually fun. It's good, great puzzle indie game, and then you got people just go ahead and review bombing it just because it is an indie game. I mean, if it's not your if it's not your style of game, then just don't play it. You don't have to download and play it. I don't understand the mindset around people review bombing video game.
I was just gonna say, like, that the whole idea of review bombing is so freaking like just childish, and it happens
it's lazy.
It's lazy, it's dumb, and it's just a waste of your time. Like, really, you're gonna brag about review bombing and giving a low score to a game simply because it's not on the platform that you have.
Yeah,
like that's little kid shit.
It's a lot worse because people will just do that shit just to do it. Because they'll be like, all right, it's not one of the major developers, so why should I have to play this and give it a real review? I don't want to do this shit. It's extremely lazy.
Yeah, and it happens on like either side. Like it happens for PlayStation, it happens for Xbox. Like literally every PlayStation game will get review bombed. Every Xbox game will get review bombed, and it's like, why? For what? What is the reason? Like what are you doing? What are you accomplishing with this? Because clearly that's what's happening. So your review is low, and the fact that everybody else is low, like you know what's happening.
It's really like, even worse because it fucks up your credibility as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, people, they freaking don't care. They'll make sock accounts and they'll just do whatever. But the thing is, like, I mean, this goes to also like actual reviews that, I mean, the whole quote unquote Xbox tax. Like, for whatever reason, Xbox games are held to a high, like the utmost standard. Meanwhile, PlayStation games can get, like, you know, it's fine. Like, Ghost of Tsushima. I heard nothing but praise about that game. How it's amazing, the story, the graphics, the gameplay, everything. That game got an 82 or 83.
Is that the game I forgot that you said? And I was like, what was that?
Yes.
Yeah. I love Ghost of Tsushima. That game was amazing.
Exactly.
Look,
it got an 83.
We all three of us know I have short-term memory problems now. It doesn't matter.
That's true. But, yeah, so that game got an 83, like on Metacritic and stuff.
Yeah.
And people were still saying, oh, that's a good score. That's a great score. Meanwhile, Starfield, on the other hand, Xbox game, got the same score, a little bit higher, 84. And apparently that's not good enough. Like, every Xbox game has to be 90 or above. For whatever reason, I don't know. But it's just the fact that, like, they're held to different standards. And then there was even just recently on IGN, they have like their PlayStation podcast. There was a guy on there who they were talking about Spider-Man 2 and how like they're looking forward to it and stuff like that. And literally the guy says, I'm not doing the review for the game, but whoever is better give it a 9 or higher, or else we're gonna have some word. And I was just like, what?
How you gonna get mad at the person reviewing it? That's what they're supposed to do.
Right. Like, why are you threatening someone who's reviewing a game to give it a 9 or above? Or 9 or a 10? That's insane.
I agree with you. It is absolutely insane. But it was just his personal opinion. It wasn't the opinion of IGN.
Here's the
problem.
Right. Yes, it was his personal opinion.
No. Here's the problem. It can't be that because, one, even if you want this game to be good, you still can't threaten people.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say.
True. That's like me as a sports person if they look at my team and be like, oh, these games are to give my team 100. Every player better at least be 85. If not, I'm gonna have to fight everyone in there. Like, no, they have these games get these ratings and they are rated because of the game, and they have to be honest with it. Is that not why you go to these raters? The same thing for people who idolize movie critics. Don't you want these people to be honest with their movie opinions?
Right.
How would you feel? Like, the nice shit. I hate it.
And the fact that, like, it may be all jokes or whatever, but the fact that he's saying it essentially to his coworker that, hey, I'm going to have a problem with you if you give this game below a 9. Like, that's... Like, why would you do that?
Here's the problem. We think it's a joke, but like it is an IGN, and if he can find out who the reviewer is, and he might be sending emails to them. Like, yo,
exactly. We don't know how serious he was. That's the issue. He could be joking. He could be not.
I don't think he was that serious. I think he was, just being a fanboy. And not saying a Sony fanboy, just like a Spider-Man fanboy.
You say this, but then there's really bad fanboys out there.
Have you these console fanboys are just as bad as sports fanboys to me.
Yeah, it's bad out there
Because they be wilding. Everyone be wilding.
They be wilding.
They do be wilding.
They'd be like, "Yo, this is the best thing ever. I don't care." It's the same people that have the arguments like, "Who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James?" It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, at the
They're
end of the
both
day,
great.
none of this freaking matters. So that's why it gets me like not even mad. But it's just like, why? I scratch my head. It's like, really, like that's where it's come to.
That's how I spend my days arguing.
Arguing.
Spend my days.
But yeah,
throwing
I don't like
tomatoes at
review bombing.
Xbox people.
If you review bomb, just look at your life and see where you messed up, because that's a waste of your time.
And not only just review bombing, but also just spoiling games on purpose.
Oh my god, don't get me started on that shit.
Yeah, like people were spoiling Starfield before it came out. Now that was PlayStation
spoiling
people.
Spider-Man 2 now.
People are spoiling Spider-Man 2, and it's just
Why?
it really is just absolutely insanity.
Why
It's like,
they never heard the phrase "you can't fight fire with fire." They never
Why?
heard that before.
Why are
Like
you
that-
spoiling something? Let people enjoy it. I never understood spoilers.
Because
Yeah.
it's
Like,
all out of
you-
spite. They
And they
hate
can-
whatever this is that much.
And they get these people who spoil things on purpose get so satisfaction. out of
Right.
it. Like some of them they're not even, some people who
Yeah.
do like spoilers it's not even real. They just do it because they just want to see people get mad at them.
Yeah,
and
they're
they
just
have
like
been.
disruptors or whatever.
I'm like,
That's
yo.
happened to me a few times.
And I'm like, yo, it's not that serious, bro. Like, what in this makes you this excited to do this? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
It's
agree
one
with
of
that.
life's mysteries.
Yeah, I had
Humans
to
are-
actually block somebody because although y'all know me, I'm a big Xbox fan, but I love Spider-Man and God of War and Ghost of Tsushima. I already pre-ordered Spider-Man 2. I had to block people on Twitter so I don't see spoilers because I really want to play the game and enjoy the game myself. And
Yeah.
it just I have to go that far to just
So you
block
can enjoy.
people. It's like so I
until
can
you-
enjoy my. It's just ridiculous. It
You
absolutely
gotta
ridiculous.
block people so you can enjoy a game to the full desire that you want to.
Yeah,
Right?
because
Because
I
some
hate
people just don't.
spoilers.
Yeah, no, I hate spoilers too. For anything, like games, movies, TV shows, I hate it.
Yeah,
But
then we got to do better. And I say we, I'm talking about like just
as
people
a
in
Also,
community,
general. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
People,
we got to
you
do
complex, you complex thing. Oh, you suck.
better. Yeah, no, we definitely
Well,
have
I
to
mean
do
that.
better.
Well,
All humans
that'll
suck.
do it for us. You guys got any parting words?
Buy me
Do
Kingdom
better.
Hearts 4.
Do better. There we
I
go.
want When Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, we're gonna tell producer Jay to buy it. That is the parting words. All right, goodbye, everybody.
Where did that come from?
Good night,
Not-
everybody. It's on producer Jay's wallet.
I'm not buying anybody
Let's
anything.
go.
Bye.
Don't be a hater. Just buy it for me.